Hi, I'm Damien, this is Enneagram Life, and today I'm going to be talking about Enneagram Type 6. So, my piece of information for you today is that Enneagram Type 6 smiles less in photos on average than all the other Enneagram types. So often you'll look at a photo and a person won't be smiling. Good chance that's an Enneagram Type 6. And this is particularly noticeable among, say, school photos. I know nowadays there's photos everywhere. So maybe the concept of taking a photo is becoming a different thing. But for most of my life, when I grew up, every school would take a photo, every grade, every year, once a year, you take this school photo. So often, a photo like that was back when there wasn't a lot of photos of people around the place. And these were the photos you would see often, like the school photo. That's when you would see another person in a photo. So if you look at, say, those photos, those school photos, often there'll be one kid not smiling or a couple of kids not smiling or something like that. Good chance that's an Enneagram Type 6. So like I was saying, like the idea of photos is changing and has changed quite a lot. And a lot of what I'm saying now is based on, say, maybe 10 years ago, when I would say, photos weren't everywhere. So I knew just then, I realized back then or around back then, this basically, or maybe around that time, or maybe I was just basing it on my life experience up until the majority of my life experience back then was 10 years ago, was probably, before this era of tons of photos. Anyway, so before this era of tons of photos, I realized that, often these Enneagram Type 6s are not smiling in photos. Not that I want to put an exact timeline of when I realized that, but that just gives you an idea that this is affected by trends. For example, there was a time in life when, if you look at all black and white photos, for example, it was a time when people didn't smile in photos, and that was seen as normal. Like, you often take a picture, look at them, and that's how everyone was taking their photo. And at some point in history, everyone started to smile in photos, or that became what was the acceptable norm. It's really hot here, sorry. Anyway, so that became the acceptable norm to smile in a photo. And the acceptable norm might have changed, even because I could be behind on some of these trends. And it might even be changing, and there's all sorts of things going on, right? But generally speaking, for most of my life, this would hold true, that this person not smiling in a photo, there's a good chance that's an Enneagram Type 6. And I think particularly those school photos is more noticeable. I think as people get older, they learn to smile. Like, the older they get, is in today's society, there's a greater chance that they're going to learn to smile. I remember there was a guy, and we were attending this seminar about, some form of people skills, and he was just talking to someone beside me, and he was talking about how he learnt to smile in photos. Like, it was like this discovery that he had, well, not this discovery, like this skill he'd gained recently, and he was telling the other guy about that. And I would say there's a very good chance that guy was an Enneagram Type 6. And very good chance that all his previous photos he was not smiling in. And I would say this mostly holds true nowadays too. I'd say probably to a lesser degree, because I would say people are getting more and more used to cameras and posing in front of cameras. But I do, for example, know there was this guy on Facebook. So I was in a Facebook era. I saw this guy, he was one of my Facebook friends. And he was taking all these photos. Normally he'd take a photo without smiling in it. That was his common photo. So he'd be somewhere, often on holidays. We went on holidays quite a lot. on overseas and stuff. And it'd be him in this place, and he would choose to post this photo on Facebook. So it wasn't even like a school photo, which was going to get published regardless of your opinion of whether you wanted it or not to get published. He would choose to publish these photos of himself, and in these photos he was not smiling at all, and he was a type 6, so yeah, it's definitely a phenomenon that I've noticed. And there's a lot of reasons for this phenomenon. And it becomes quite an extensive issue as to why they do this. But I feel like that's a video for another time, because I want to keep these videos short, and I think people like to be able to have a clear takeaway message. And today's a clear takeaway message that often Enneagram Type 6s, well, more often than most other types, Enneagram Type 6s won't be smiling in a photo. I'm not saying normally Enneagram Type 6s are not smiling in photos. No, I'm saying if there's someone not smiling in a photo, there's a greater chance that that person is an Enneagram Type 6 than any other Enneagram types. Because there still is in society this giant societal expectation and that you smile in a photo, and I would say the majority of Enneagram Type 6s are smiling in photos. Even back in the day, I mean, not in the very old black and white photo days, but no one was smiling in photos, but yeah. The person not smiling in a photo, a good chance of Enneagram Type 6. Today is the 17th of September, 2024. Thank you.